What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show, even though it's dark outside here. What up? What up? What up? Let me show you. See outside my window right there? It's dark outside. Dark outside. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Dark outside. Mm-hmm. What's going on, family? How y'all feeling today? It's different. It's different. It's different. It's different here. I mean, it's usually different. It's usually different everywhere you go, but it's certainly different here. What's going on, family? What's happening? I will say this. I did get 8 hours of sleep. So after I jumped off of the live stream last night on After Hours on the Room 9 channel, I did David Brown. I got some sleep. I went straight to sleep and got up, ate breakfast, actually worked out, and went and looked at my daughter working and practicing. Because she training, watched her train, and then got back to it. And then I plan on hitting the streets. I hit the streets a little bit yesterday. Just to see the city, see what was going on, see what the vibes is, see what the pulse is. It's cool, Brothers Keeper. It's cool. I like it over here. It's pretty awesome. Most places that you go to, it's gonna be cool. I mean, it's just kind of like it's modern, like Romania and every other place that you go to. So, but it's not. I don't care what they tell you, and I've been to a lot of places. I've been all across the United States of America. I've been to a bunch of different countries. And I know that there's people like, oh my God, I can't afford to live in the United States of America. I love the US. I love the US. All of these places, and I loved Romania. I loved Tokyo. I love all of these places that I visit. I think it's really awesome here in Zagreb, Croatia. Nothing is like the United States of America. Nothing, nothing. And maybe a lot of people just don't really get it. Maybe they just really haven't experienced other places. Maybe it's lifestyle, maybe whatever. Maybe people just want to be, they want to live a cheap life or whatever, so on and so forth. But for me, see, they always want to keep making excuses. It's only because you've never lived outside of the States. Well, you ain't got to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. Like, it's the details, it's the smaller things. It's not like people are not any different, because people are people. You know what I'm saying? People are people. They're gonna be however they're gonna be, no matter where you go. But it's the details, right? Like I'll give you an example. When I come in to a hot, like, this is a very nice hotel, right? It's a very, very nice hotel. And I got a suite. I got a bedroom. I got this living room area. I got two bathrooms. I got all of that. And then I got a separate room, because this is the spot where I work at. And then I also have a place where I sleep at. You know what I'm saying? So I got two rooms. Actually, I got three rooms. I got one that I sleep in. I got the room for my daughter has her own room, and because she get up at different times in training because of the time difference. And then I have this. So I got two suites, and I got this place where I work at, because I don't like interrupting people. I like to just be able to be free, talk without having any kind of interruption whatsoever. And this, but like, if you go outside of the United States of America, it's not the same. Like I'll give you an example. The rooms are usually smaller. The showers are usually smaller. Um, the amenities, the way that they heat up their homes and their hotels and their buildings, a lot of it is stuff that we've already surpassed technologically. The internet is not as fast. The stores are a lot more barren. You can see how people interact with people. The interaction may be cool, and it's nothing that you can't adapt to, right? It's not anything that is crazy, right? It's not nothing big, but you just notice the differences and things that are here versus there. Our normalcies, the type of cars that we drive, um, the freeways. It's just different. It's just different. I like visiting and going to other places. I like going and doing other things. I like interacting with other things. But there's nothing like the United States of America. I do agree with that, Aaron Miller. People that live in the United States take the United States for granted. People that live in the United States um take the United States for granted. I think, personally, I believe. So, it's cool. Again, I love it. I like interacting, and I like seeing other cultures. And then after a week, I want to go home. I've never been to Poland, and I'm never going to Haiti. I'm never going to Haiti. You never have to worry about me ever going to Haiti. I'm getting pictures. I'm gonna do a vlog when I get back and giving y'all um, a tour of one of the houses that I was redoing that they moved out of, and it's incredible. They did an incredible job putting this together. They're doing a stone in front of it, and so I'm spending 150K redoing this house right here. And y'all know what it looked like before. It look incredible now. So yeah, man, it's looking sweet. It's looking sweet. So I can't wait to give y'all an update on that. Um, we are gonna still do just a couple little housekeeping items before we get into the show. We are going to still do the movies on Sunday. So even though I'm here in Croatia, and I'm gonna talk about that for a second too. Even though I'm here in Croatia, we still doing the movie show on Sunday. I'm still dedicated to it. So let me say this just to start off the show. All right. You guys know that I'm here in Croatia. I have had a 12-hour flight flying here. I'm here and I'm taking care of business, and I'm also interacting with my daughter because I want to see her train and stuff like that. And I got a 12-hour flight back home on Sunday. And so I'm gonna land at one something Eastern, like 1:30 Eastern on Sunday. And I gotta go from there straight to the show because I gotta watch a movie. But one of the movies I can only watch in the United States of America because it's not available here in Croatia, right? So one movie is here in Croatia, one of them is online, and then I got to get back to the States because it doesn't release in Croatia until a week later. And then I had to find theaters and make sure and do the research to ensure that they show it in English. And then I got to account for the time difference. And then I got to schedule it. And then I still got to do my 2 live streams. I got to do the one for the Millionaire Morning Show and then the one at night. And then we got to get the other stuff recorded. And we still got to hit the streets. And the family still want to spend time and all of that. But here's the thing, I don't miss. I don't miss. So even when I land back in Michigan on Sunday, and then I'm gonna go straight to the movie theater, and then we're gonna do the live stream that night. I still don't miss. I never miss under no circumstance. So here's the thing that I want to say to you guys, because my For You page on multiple different live streams or on multiple different platforms, it gives you content according to the things that you already watch, your lifestyle and all of that, right? And so one thing that I hear from a lot of people is, oh man, YouTubers are not YouTubers, content creators, influencers, TikTokers, people on Instagram, they falling off, right? It ain't no more money in the game. They this, and that, so on and forth, so on and so forth. But what I've noticed is that the difference between the people that are successful and what we do, and the difference between the people that are not successful, is that people think that getting into content creation is a laissez-faire affair. They think that they can quit their job and then you're gonna come on here and you're gonna be a millionaire. Have you noticed that people, no matter what, they've always agreed universally that YouTube is the hardest platform to break into, and that's why a lot of people went over to TikTok when it first started blowing up over here in the United States of America. Initially, it was a platform where kids was doing dance videos and all of that stuff. It was a platform for kids, and then adults took it over. Next thing you know, everybody started organizing on TikTok, and you got the No Kings protest, right? And then everybody wanted to be an influencer, and then it was selling on the TikTok shop. And now what you see is the money then fell off, and the people are complaining. And so even though they may have 1 million followers on TikTok, which is way easier to get than it is on any of these other platforms, they don't make no money and they still poor, right? And so people think that you could just jump on there and say, oh man, and talk a bunch of stuff, and then you upload your 1.5 minute video, and you're supposed to have 1 million subscribers and $1 million, and then everything is supposed to be cool. And you paid off all your debt and everything is great. And then they realize, wait a minute, I can't convert this audience on the YouTube, and my long form format is trash because I really ain't that good at what it is that I do. But I also want to live this awesome, incredible life, and I want to have freedom. And so you will also see some people say, well, I got laid off from my job, so now I think I'm going to be a full-time content creator. Has nothing to do with being oversaturated, 29 South. Nothing to do with being oversaturated. Every industry, every group of people, there's going to be a level of oversaturation. I don't know anybody in any hood in the United States of America and abroad that didn't want to make the NBA. I don't know anybody that didn't want to be a rapper. But guess what? There's going to be the people that fall off, the people that are one-hit wonders, and there's always going to be money in the game. Even if the money changes, even if the way in which people make money changes, there's always going to be money in the game. And there's going to be people up here, and then there's going to be people way down here, and it really doesn't matter. And let me tell you the difference is because if you're getting into this game, and this is applicable for every single industry, business, content creator, whatever you get into, if you're getting into it strictly for the money, you're going to burn out and you're going to fall off. You can't do this part-time and expect incredible results. Everybody that I know personally, and I know a lot of content creators, I know a lot of really, really successful people in this game. Everybody that I know personally that is in this game that is incredibly successful, they eat, sleep, breathe the business. They move their whole life around it. And you can't cheat the game. You can't cheat the game. It is what it is.
You cannot cheat the game. That's not how it works. You got to love this shit. You have to love it. You truly have to adore what you do. If you don't love it, understanding that the money comes with it, then you either gonna burn out, you're not gonna be good enough, you're not gonna take it serious, you're not gonna pour into yourself, you're not gonna invest in yourself, you're not gonna really be consistent, you're not gonna do the things that it take to be successful. And let me tell you, you're not going to be able to compete with people that truly love the game. You can't compete with it. You can't do it because other people don't stop. They don't stop. You have to love it. You have to adore it. You got to sleep it. You got to eat it. You got to be a part of it. I was talking to the people on room 9, the people on after hours, right? I talked to Island Girl Q. Island Girl Q don't want to be the type of content creator that I am. You know what Q want to do? Q wants to be up under me and then to do her thing once a week on Monday nights and disappear and go and do whatever it is she gonna do. She not trying to build her own platform. She may upload videos and stuff, and little girly, oh, this is where I'm at. She ain't on that. She like, you know what, Anton, you work too hard. I'm not for that. The people over there on after hours in room 9, not Mika. Mika is like, skip it, I'm going. Mika is a different little animal. That's my little chihuahua. Mika, my angry poodle. Mika, like, nah, we in this shit. We gonna embrace all the controversy. We gonna create the controversy. We gonna talk it. Mika is out there working. She, she a different little chihuahua. That's my little chihuahua over there. All right. Oh, Mika here. What up, Mika? Mika work. Mika don't give a fuck about no controversy. She don't care about no issues. Mika gonna debate. She gonna get into it. She ain't got thin skin. She ain't got none of that. Mika just gonna go after it, right? But you gotta be a different type of animal for that. You gotta be different for that. That's why I gave Mika Tuesdays off. I said, no, listen, my little chihuahua. I know you think you can keep up, but no, get your little rest. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna talk about it later. But for real, for the most part, for everybody else, they want to come in and they want to talk, and that's cool and that's dope. I'm with it. They know who they are. They want to come in at the time that they come in. We gonna live stream for 3, 4, 5 hours, however long we live stream, and they cut the computer off and they go. They don't want to curate content. They not trying to be focusing on cameras. They're not trying to book studios to see where we can go later. They're not trying to find those sponsorships. And I'm not saying it's not what they wouldn't do. I'm telling you the level of dedication it takes to produce something like this. Sponsorships, upgrading, investing in the software, editing, planning, producing, all of this stuff. Sometimes y'all see me on room 9 and I'll be like this. And I get up, I get off camera, I go do some jumping jacks, go spray some water on my head, come back, I'm back on for the next 30, 40 minutes, and then I get a little bit sleepy again. Nobody want to live that life. Ain't nobody trying to live that life. When people go to other countries, they want to spend the majority of their time acting like they tourists and exploring the country. They don't want to spend 75% of their time working, 10% of their time sleeping, and then the other 15% of their time going and explore a country. That's why people be taking breaks. That's why people disappear. That's why you can't take no vacation the same way that you take a vacation with a regular job. Most people are regular workers. Most people need to go get a regular job. Most people need to go get a regular job because this ain't for you. And it's going to show. It's definitely going to show. It's definitely going to be a thing. It's going to show. It's going to show in how you live. It's going to show in the way that you move. It's going to show in your actions. And so if you're not willing to make the sacrifice for that type of thing, this type of life, then you need to get out. You got to get out. You got to get out. You got to get out. This ain't for you, boo. This ain't. And so you got to love it. You truly got to love it. And I think that that's applicable. I've seen it in corporate America. I used to live, work, and play corporate. I never did no work in corporate. I did all of the social. I did all of the interacting. I made sure that I attended as many meetings as possible. I did all of the volunteer work. That's how I was able to move up in corporate. And then when I would get home, I would work my ass off for 4 or 5 hours after I got home. And then I would wake up an hour early in order to make sure that I set up all of my meetings and that everything was straight. So you're dedicating another 4, 5, 6 hours outside of work to level up and be ahead of everybody else. And then you'll get some DEI person that'll say, I can't believe they're not promoting me. I should be making as much as him. No, you shouldn't. You can't make as much as me because you don't know what I do outside of the lines to get there. The reason why Jordan and Kobe and LeBron and all of them is considered the top 10, top 5 of all time is because they didn't just rely on their talent. They spent the majority of their time working out. They in the gym. They putting up shots. They there before everybody come. They there after everybody leave. A lot of people don't know that. Dennis Rodman, right after the game, go and watch some of the interviews. All he did was lift. After the game, he went and lifted. After the game, he lifted. So when Dennis show up, you like, oh man, this dude just showing up. He's just a freak of nature. No, he not only talented, he's a monster after the games. You don't see what happens afterwards. All you do is see, when I see people come in here, whether it be after hours on a Million in the Morning show, and I'm curating stuff and I'm making sure that stuff is perfect. And I got to make sure that my Wi-Fi is straight and all of this stuff. And the show could say 10:20 or 12:25, and I could start it at 12:30. And I'll look at the chat. I'll do a once over and I scan the chat. And the person in the chat will say, man, I can't believe that they're late. Black people time. And I don't say nothing because it is what it is. The only thing that people care about is the presentation. They want the movie. They don't want to know how the movie is made. They don't want to know how much the actors are paid. They don't want to know that you had cost overruns. They don't want to know that you had problems pulling permits on set. They don't want to know that, you had to fire this guy and you had to do a bunch of reshoots. Only thing people want is the finished product. They want you to show up and perform. They don't care about all of that shit. When it comes to being a business owner, people want you to get their goddamn chicken. They don't give a fuck that your mama died. They don't care if you're going through a divorce. They don't care if your car broke down. They don't care if the supplier of the chicken didn't deliver the order on time. They don't care if the people that work for you ain't doing what they supposed to do. The only thing they know, and they gonna act like that they super sweet and they a vlogger. Oh my God, here I go. I'm going to do a review video of this restaurant. Don't give a fuck about what your problems are. They can take a 10-minute video and you could put your whole life savings, everything you got into it. But if you're not meeting the expectations on this and this, you can get 20 things right. You can get 2 things wrong. If those 2 things is wrong, they'll spend 20 minutes talking about the things that's wrong. And they'll spend 1 minute talking about the things that's right. And guess what? Your business will fail. And that's capitalism for your ass. That's why everybody wants socialism, because they fucking lazy. Because they don't want to actually put no work in. They want worker protections, they want insurance, they want safety, they want a 401k, and they want a goddamn pension, and they want you to pay for healthcare coverage, and they want you to pay them $20, $50 an hour because they say that everybody deserves a livable wage. But not one day will they ever go out there and create their own business, or go out there and try to do something for themselves, or go out there and see what it takes to market themselves to the general public, or put their own money up. They expect for you or the government to hold their hand. They want you to give them a job, and they want you to give them food stamps, and they want you to freeze the rent, and they want you to pay them $150,000, and they want to make sure that they protect themselves against marriage from the person that they have children with. Everybody wants everything, and nobody wants to suffer. Everybody, that's why it's easy for somebody like a Zohar Mamdani to come in and smile in your face and say, and make you promises for shit he can't do, because everybody is living in a dream world. It's the reason why Obama got elected off of hope. His message was hope. Michelle, hope. Hope is a thing that's not earned, but something that you really want. And everybody should be able to hope. Everybody deserves healthcare. Everybody deserves housing. Everybody deserves everything. Somebody got to pay for that shit. Somebody got to go and make the sacrifice to go and get it. That's the difference. And the people that build don't complain. You don't hear about them. And the people that actually wants everything and they believe that society owes them something, they're gonna be the loudest in the room. You know why? Because they got a lot of time to be able to talk. They got a lot of time to be able to talk. And so whether we talking about content creation or whether we talking about leveling up in corporate America or whatever, usually the people that criticize the most are the ones that has never built anything. They've never opened up a business. They've never opened up a restaurant. They know everything about what it takes to be successful, but they don't have the results. And then they sit there and they talk about it because those that can't do teach and those that do build. And that's the difference. That's the whole saying behind, and I don't know exactly how it go, that, people talk about people that's actually doing shit ain't doing shit. That's the difference in capitalism. That's why it's so beautiful. That's why a lot of people don't want it unless they're able to hack it. They think that it's important for them to take your money to pay for their services, and they out there fucking. They laid up, eating hot Cheetos, fucking on each other all day, being poor, and asking for the government to take care of their children. And you out there killing yourself every day, working 20 hours. Man, I know people that work sometimes 18, 19, 20 hours. They sleep for 3, fuck for a half hour, take a shower for the other 15 minutes, and come back and grind and go and get that shit. And people are demanding that they pay 60, 70, 80% of their income to the rest of everybody else that don't do shit every day. How is that fair? How is that fair? That ain't never been fair. It ain't never going to be fair. This is the world that we live in. Everybody want to make 100,000. Don't nobody want to do nothing. Everybody want a job, and then they want to kill the billionaire that provide them the job to be able to feed their family. Live long enough to become the villain. Live long enough to become the villain. Why do you feel sorry for these people that provide us a job? Why do you feel sorry for the richest people that give us opportunity? Why do you feel sorry for the people that pay 60, 70% of the income taxes? Take it from them and give it to us. That's the society that we live in. So if you want this, whatever this is to be successful, if you want this, you want the champagne dreams, you want champagne dreams, you want the Rolls Royces, you want the big bucks, you want the bricks of money, you want the Rolexes, you want all of that. You want to be a businessman, you want to seem busy, talking on 2 iPhones at the same time. Hello? Everybody now buying wired headphones now so that they can seem busy because it's the trendy thing to do, but you ain't really talking to nobody. You just keep on talking about your baby daddy. You really want this shit, you got to work for it. And I'll never, ever worry about anybody ever taking my place or passing me up or making more money than me because I know you ain't going to do shit anyway. I could tell you everything that I do word for word, have you circumvent and skip steps of what I had to suffer to learn, and you're not going to do anything anyway. You're just going to sit there and you're going to say, man, why you gatekeeping? Give us the game. Suck my dick. I don't worry about people talking about me. Like, I look at it as promotion. I took lemons and I made lemonade out that shit. He only blowing up because them folks is putting, what the fuck is you talking about? I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because you're still going to be poor at the end of the day. Why Anton always talking about money? Because it's called the Millionaire Morning Show. Bitch, it's not the poor person show. They got poor people shows all over. You can see them looking dusty on the internet. They usually have 1,000 different things going on in their background to try to distract you from the fact that they ain't shit. They can't talk about shit. They don't have nothing going on. Everybody think that they can go and get a ring light, and that's the end of the conversation. That's life. That's life. Those that can't do, talk about everybody else. It's life. Welcome to the Terror Dome. Y'all ready to get started with the show? They always typing on Twitter. I don't even know. I looked on Twitter the other day and I just realized that I crossed over 100,000 people on Twitter too. I looked on Instagram and it said I had 100 and some thousand followers on Instagram. I don't even give a fuck no more. Honestly, only thing I care about is after hours right now, as far as getting that up, as far as numbers on subscribers or followers and stuff like that. I don't even really put nothing on Twitter, and only thing I do is throw up shorts on Twitter. And they pay me. Every 2 weeks, I get a check from X, formerly known as Twitter. Every 2 weeks, I get a check. Actually, it's a direct deposit. Every 2 weeks, I get a direct deposit from X, formerly known as Twitter. I don't even be checking that shit. It just go into the bank. I don't even remember it. I convert it over to cryptocurrency, and that's it. Let me see something. Ads. Oh, should I go to monetization? I don't even know how to look at my stuff. More monetization. Manage creator revenue sharing. Yep, that's it. No, I know y'all want to see my fucking payouts on there. I'm not showing you. Yep. Next payout November 21st, November 8th, October 25th, October 11th, September 27th, 13th, 30th, 16th, 2nd, 19th. Yep. Yep. I ain't gonna keep scrolling to the left. I'm gonna just let y'all do what y'all do. I ain't gonna even do it. Yep. Next payout 20. Where's the next payout? 21st. I get that money too. I'm not going to the left, Jay Graham. They want to know all of the stuff that I'm doing. I'm gonna get that money too. I didn't even talk about that money. Oh, attach me to that account. We are good. Oh, I want them all. I'm gonna get it all. I'm gonna get it all. I'm gonna get it all. I'll make money 10 different ways on this content shit. 10 different ways to make $1. 10 different ways to make $1. Y'all ain't even know there was no money on X, did y'all? Y'all didn't even know there was no money on X, did y'all? Let me read some of these super chats and we're going to go ahead and get started with the show. You knew Mika? Mr. Law says, what's good, Chasers? I remember you made videos such as how to get rich in your 30s. Can you describe where you were in life at 33? Let me see. 33. That was 10 years ago, 2015. I had a net worth of well over $1 million in 2015. I had already sold a company. I had already been investing in real estate. I was already focused on continuing to build up my real estate portfolio and my brokerage account. I was doing the same things that I was doing now, except I didn't take content creation as serious. I was continuing to work in corporate America. I think I was working at Comerica Bank at that time. And so I was leveling up in Comerica Bank. And I was living for free. I had no mortgage because all my real estate, it was those. But I had no rent, no mortgage for myself. I was living for free. My father was the supervisor. He was over the maintenance department at a apartment that I lived at a townhouse. It was a townhouse that I lived at, and my father was over there. My father was over there, and so I was living for free. I lived 2 doors down from my parents. I was living for free, and I was banking everything. I was banking and investing every dollar that I got. It's the same philosophy that I got now. It's the exact same philosophy that I have now. At 33, I was banking everything. I was banking everything. In 2015, bank it, bank it, bank it. But I was just determined to stay down. I was determined to stay down for as long as I possibly could. And that's how I was living. And a lot of people was like, oh man, you need to. Nope, I'm straight. I'm straight. I was banking everything. I didn't have a car note. I didn't have none of that. I was banking every dollar that I got from corporate America, from my businesses, from web development. I had a web development company also. And I was preparing to retire my parents. I was preparing to retire my parents. And so that's why I had started building a restaurant for my father. That's why me and my father was working on a restaurant all the time. But then he died in 2017. Chadford Moore says, good morning or good evening to you and the family. AD, out for a morning jog, listening in. Been 2 years since my last jog. Hopefully I won't die on this trail. Yeah, be careful, big dog. Thank you for supporting us. Brian, the filmmaker, says, sent you an email, big dog. Check it out. Okay, I'm on it. Courtney Egger Show says, speaking facts, big dog. I love this. Courtney Egger Show up next. Mika says it's very hard. It's a lot. I appreciate you. AD, love you. And Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I love Mika more. I love Mika like let me move on to the next one. Don Drell says, working is the way. Appreciate your insight, AD. Appreciate you too. Kenneth J. Malone Sr. said, I got the super sticker. Shout out to you. Jesse V in the building says, I don't know if you will be live tomorrow, but it's son Joshua Jr.'s birthday. He gets hype off of your content. Anton time, Monday through Friday. No, I'm not gonna be live streaming tomorrow. I got a competition to go through. Shout out to Jesse V. Hey, happy birthday to Joshua Jr., man. We love you, bro. We love you, Joshua Jr. Ray Sean says, for your work ethic. Thank you, Ray Sean. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. I appreciate my dog, Ray Sean. Ray Sean got rich man problems right now. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ray Sean, for holding me down for that 100 ball, bro. Chip Burner says, AD, you are rich yet. You are rich. Let Zoran use your money to save NYC. I don't even like New York City no more. I ain't going to New York no more. Crimson, you so cute. Great day, Mr. AD. I enjoy your input, and the show has always been a subscriber for a few years now. Continue to stay blessed, you and your family. Damn. She's so pretty. I love women like this. Got that beautiful smile. All of that. Shout out to my girl Crimson. Let me read us a couple of these cash apps also. Got to hold down the people. Y'all can get overdrafted on Cash App? I didn't even know that was a thing. You can get overdrafts on Cash App? What up to Samuel? I appreciate you. Frank White. Christopher Williams. Thank you, Christopher Williams, for holding me down. I appreciate you. Spencer Campbell. What up, though? And my dog, Mike, that dude. What's happening? What's up, Mike, that dude? What up? What up? Y'all can get overdrafted on Cash App? I didn't even know that was a thing. Wow. I thought Cash App was just basically for sending people money. I didn't even know that you can go past a limit on Cash App. That's crazy. That is crazy. Shout out to all of the people. All right, y'all. I want to revisit a conversation that we was having yesterday. because I didn't really give my take on it, but I want to have this conversation and I want to jump into this. All right. So make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get into it.
An affair, a TikTok star, and a $1.75 million verdict that nearly ended with a fight outside the Durham County Courthouse. That was not the fight. That was the joy inside the courtroom. We're talking about the case of North Carolina TikToker Brene Montague. She was sued by her now husband's ex-wife. Tonight, a jury found Montague liable for destroying the couple's marriage. WR's Eric Miller was in court and has the story.
That's the sound of a $1.75 million cheer coming just moments after court was adjourned. Akira Montague embraced her attorney, Robinetta Jones, as dozens of supporters yelled from the sidelines.
She has received justice from losing her husband and the father of her children.
Akira Montague's lawsuit, filed in Durham County Court, accuses Brene Montague, an influencer with nearly 3 million followers on TikTok, of seducing and having an affair with her then husband, Tim. That affair.
What is this girl's name? Let me see something.
Accuses Brene Montague, an influencer with nearly 3 million followers on TikTok, of seducing and having an affair with her then husband, Tim. That affair then turning to marriage.
All right, so I got a question. Just a quick question. Y'all fighting over a nigga that's just regular as fuck? Before I even get to the whole situation of suing, y'all fighting over a regular dude? This is how, see, I seen a dude that was mad at me on TikTok yesterday. Somebody sent it to me. Y'all don't have to send it to me. I'm good. I don't need to see anybody more dusty. Any more dusties complaining. He was like, you know, they say the same shit. Like they went with you to high school, right? And they say, yeah, man, Anton don't know what he talking about. He was getting dissed in high school. And it's like, do y'all niggas know me? Like, did y'all go to Cass Tech with me or something like that? Then I'll come on here and I'll see a regular dude. I mean, when I say regular, I ain't dissing him at all. I'm just saying he looks like a regular, everyday guy. Regular, everyday guy. Yeah, 25 years ago. They know what I was like 25 years ago. He's a regular, everyday guy. And this dude got people fighting over him. Now, granted, I don't know about these women. He seemed like he got a type. God's child says he was her first love. They was together from grade school and now in adulthood. What the fuck is that supposed to mean to me? People grow out of that shit. People grow out of it. Let me ask y'all a question. Let's say somebody they was in high school together, right? Now, this obviously is not applicable to everybody, but it's a situation by situation basis. Let's say two people was in high school together. Are they supposed to just stay together because they was each other's first love and they was in high school? What if one person is growing and winning and the other person just want to stay where they at and they never want to grow? Are you supposed to carry this person for the rest of your life? Especially if y'all don't even have kids. I don't know if they got kids or not, but I'm just painting a scenario to try to have a conversation. I ain't talking about looks. I'm talking about mentality, Jet. I'm just talking about mentality. I ain't talking about look. I ain't talking about none of that. And the situation that I'm framing is somebody supposed to just stay there just because they've been with them for a long fucking time. At what point do you be like, hey, man, what you doing? What we doing? How long are you supposed to carry a person? How long are you supposed to stay with a Dusty? If you got kids, it's a different scenario. I didn't hear nothing about kids in this scenario. If you got kids, it's different. If you don't, it's different. Somebody said, yeah, if you okay. I did a review video of this sex worker girl and said she only sleep with married men. I'm gonna bring this up. I wanted to bring it up yesterday, but we kept getting derailed. So I'm gonna be a lot more fervent and trying to steer the conversation and stay on point with the subjects that I got set up for after hours. So sex worker girl said that she really only sleep with married men. And she broke it down and she said that these married men get extremely vulnerable because there's something about this laying there naked after you just got one off. That guys want to pillow talk. And that's how guys start pillow talking with chicks ain't supposed to be pillow talking. But anyways, one of the things that she said was that there are guys that haven't experienced intimacy that are married for a year, 2 years. She said the longest that a guy told her that she hadn't experienced intimacy was 10 years. The longest that a guy hadn't experienced intimacy was 10 years. Okay, and this is why I say there's a case-by-case basis. You can't just take one thing and have that be applicable to every single thing that we're talking about. So if it's a case-by-case basis, do you expect for the guy, let's assume neither one of them actually cheated prior to him actually going to the prostitute. Do you expect for the guy to hold her down and to still be with her after 10 years and not getting no intimacy? Oh, the conversation changed now, right? Because first it was just a blanket yes. Now, wait a minute. Somebody said, how long you think that 1.7 is gonna last? All right, I gotta comment about that. But let's hear a little bit more of the story before we get into it.
When Brene and Tim wed. In the suit, Akira Montague claimed Brene used her online influence as a weapon. The affair also caused damage to her health and deprived her kids of a two-parent household.
And it was nothing but lies.
Brene Montague, who
they got small kids, yeah, dog. You can't do that. Can't do that, big dog. Can't do that, big dog.
Represented herself in court, slammed the verdict, saying Akira Montague knew her marriage was over and allowed the affair.
She gave her consent. She said it was okay because she knew her marriage was over with and it was done.
But the jury did.
Why would you go and represent yourself? Nah, that's going to feed into my next comment.
Agree, awarding Akira Montague the $1.75 million after more than 700 pieces of evidence were presented in court, including some of Brene's own TikToks and texts.
That says that my client was telling the truth.
If you just want to go purely off of looks.
Own TikToks and texts.
That says that my client was telling the truth.
Oh, that's the lawyer, my bad.
The case hinged on two rarely used laws, including alienation of affection.
It can be very hard to prove, and the reason is because it's hard to find a point in a relationship where the relationship necessarily started to go bad.
But in these videos and in the court testimony, the jury found that point, leaving Brene Montague with a hefty bill and no answer on how she'll pay.
I don't know, but she'll probably never see it.
Which is the point that I was about to make. She said, I don't know how I'm going to pay it. She'll probably never see it. Here's my point that I'm making with regard to this. Just because you got 3 million followers on TikTok does not equate to having $3 million in real life. Just because you have 3 million followers on TikTok does not mean she's representing herself in court. She's representing herself in court. I mean, so this may be a moral victory. She may get some money. You got to go to work the next day. You have to go to work the next day. There's plenty of people that have a lot of followers and no money. She's representing herself in court. So it doesn't translate into necessarily her having $1.75 million. However, maybe it's just a moral victory. Maybe it's just something for them to try to prove in court, something like that. But I don't think that she got $1.75 million if you represent yourself in a case where you can get sued for $1.75 million. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. It's a lot of people on the internet with a lot of Instagram followers, with a lot of TikTok followers. Hell, it's a lot of people that got a bunch of YouTube subscribers and they ain't got no money. They don't have any money whatsoever. So this is weird, bro. It's weird. I'm not sure how I see this. Alienation of affection. That means that let me look this up. Alienation of affection is a legal claim where a spouse sues a third party for intentionally causing the loss of love and affection in their marriage, which often leads to divorce. This lawsuit must prove the marriage had genuine affection, that the third party's wrongful actions destroyed that affection, and that the third party was the direct cause. While it is an outdated legal concept outlawed in most U.S. states, it is still recognized in a few, most notably North Carolina, which is where the girl actually got sued. All right, so here's the other lesson in this. Be careful where you get married and be careful where you file for divorce. Because I can't understand how somebody can make money from this. Be careful where you get married. This is another key for the fellas. Fellas, listen to what I'm saying. A lot of y'all just out here winging it and saying that you love. And I keep telling you that just as much as it's a love situation, it's also a business. Be careful where you get married, where you have children, and where you wind up laying your seeds at. Be careful. Be very, very careful, bro. Because if you get married in North Carolina, then you can get sued for alienation of affection. Some people said never get married in Texas, California, Texas, North Carolina, New York. Shit. All of that is messy. Shit. At this point, it's becoming such a hurdle and an obstacle. I'm not even sure that I can't believe I'm saying this. In 2025 and going forward, with all of the stuff that we're starting to discover, you need to have a lawyer research all of the laws in the state that you get married in. I'm not sure that it makes sense for those to get married. Unless you're having children. If you just getting with a person and you just want to be with them for a long time, I'm not sure if it actually makes sense to get married right now. Legally. Bro, you can get sued for alienation of affection in North Carolina. I mean, I'm just looking at it from a financial perspective. I'm just not sure, bro. Honestly, if you are a super successful person and you've already built yourself up, and the only reason that you're getting with somebody is because you just like them and love them, and there's nothing outside of the fact that y'all just want to make sure that y'all always together. This is crazy. It's just crazy, honestly. That's crazy. Who got $1.75 million just sitting around in North Carolina just to be given away? Listen, I think that marriage is dope. I think that it's absolutely awesome, especially if you decide that you want to have kids. I'm throwing a caveat on there to say if you are in a specific state And if you have a significant amount of resources and you're not looking to have children, we might have to have a different conversation. Honestly. This is a lot. It's a lot to take in. Nobody, Ginger and Juice says, I mean, if you plan on committing adultery, who plans on it? You know what? In year 5, I think I might go and bust down a real one. Nobody is planning on messing up. You know what I'm saying? Nobody plans on it. That sounds stupid. Nobody plans on just fucking up. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that these guys that are sleeping with a prostitute didn't expect to not have sex for 10 years straight and to be rubbing one out in his own household while having to take care of a big back that don't even want to give him no head. I'm pretty sure he didn't plan on that. You know what I'm saying? It's the dumbest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. I think that everybody should get a prenup no matter what. So prenups don't necessarily mean that you're scared that you're going to lose something. Prenups is there for protection for everybody. I think that everybody, all right, so 2 things that I think that we should have. All right. 2 things that I think that we should have by default is I believe that we should standardize prenups no matter what. Because a prenuptial agreement is not necessarily saying that you shouldn't get nothing. A prenuptial agreement is to establish what things are going to be in the event that it doesn't work out for everybody. We should have standard prenups, and we should have you have to get paternity tests at birth. And I don't think that anybody would disagree with that. Paternity tests at birth and prenuptial agreements, it should be standardized. That way, because let me tell you why they are against prenuptial agreements. This ain't even about women. This is about the court system. The system doesn't want a prenuptial agreement because lawyers don't want prenuptial agreements because divorce attorneys and people that are a part of this system wouldn't make as much money. You have judges, you have divorce attorneys, you got systematic things that are the things that are systematic has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with culture and money. And so if you don't have a prenuptial agreement, it's much more difficult for you, or it's going to cost you a lot more money even to go through the legal process if you're not just doing a quick divorce where you guys have already agreed on, hey, listen, we got this handled without the courts. We're going to figure this out. We're going to go ahead and keep it out of the loop. It's 3 things that I think, and it's another thing that I believe. I don't believe that every single thing that is filed in court, divorces, all of that stuff, that should not be anybody's business. Your marriage should not be anybody's business as far as whether or not you get married, whether you get divorced, that shouldn't be anybody's business. That should not be public information. Child support court orders and stuff, that should not be public information. Anything that is dealing with your personal life that has nothing to do with a company, none of that stuff should be public information. We got a fucked up system that's not changed in a long time. Paternities at birth, standardized prenuptial agreements, and court filings when it comes to family court law. None of that stuff should be available for public consumption. Andre Garcia, here you go, bro. I got something for you. I got a solution for you. I got a solution for you, Andre. I think you should go and watch. I'm going to throw some of my other content creators a loop. You should go and watch Richard Fain. Go and watch Boyce Watkins. Go and watch them. They spend more time not talking about money when it comes to popular culture and the little nuances of what happened. Because see, here on the Millionaire Morning Show, I talk about how you're impacted by everything money related. I don't just talk about the economy. I don't just talk about the stock market. We don't just talk about that here. We talk about everything as long as it comes back to the money. You should go and yeah, there you go. So there's a recommendation for you. Go and watch Richard Fain. Go and watch Boyce Watkins. They talk about economic empowerment, and that's pretty much all they talk about. They don't get into personal stuff. They don't get into lawsuits, divorces. They don't get into all of that stuff. They just focus 100% on that. All right. I talk about anything. I talk about everything. I talk about anything that comes to my mind. Literally anything that comes to my mind. So shout out to Boyce. Shout out to Richard Fain. This may not necessarily be your cup of tea. I'm no hater. I shout people out. That may be more or less your cup of tea. You may want to go the CNBC route. I get messy over here. I talk about money and get messy. I'm just as likely to tell you what the play is to whether or not you should invest in this particular stock. And then literally 30 seconds later, I can tell you to suck my dick. Richard not going to do that. Boyce is not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? They going to do it a little bit differently. I'm not made for TV. I will tell you that, you know what? This is what you need to vote on, and this is why this city economically got their credit rating downgraded. And then I'm going to tell you that I'm going to go on a Bust Your Chick Down 2 tour right after that. So I'm unhinged. I'll probably be unhinged for the rest of my life. All right. So shout out to the people that prefer to just talk about the economic impact of the economy. I'm not that. And shout out to them. I think that they do really, really well. Let me see what else we got going on. Let me read some of these super chats. That's the way my show go. If you like messy money, then that's what we do. Chris Monroe, and don't steal that title either. Because that's definitely a show that I got coming onto the network. Chris Monroe STL says, are these super chats able to be considered tax deductible like advertising and marketing expenses? I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. I haven't seen anything about it. Kevin says, or Kev says, 80, you should listen to 51 June, new album, Prophet of a Pain, real grown man-ish. 51 June? I think you'll like it. All right, I'm going to have to send it to me, email it to me. Brian, the filmmaker, says she was married to her now husband's cousin. This case was messy. Her husband's cousin? Shit. Super B Thespian says, hi, AD, signed to a social acting agency. A social acting agency. What is a social acting agency? Contract ends summer 26, going to conservative content, clashes with liberal TV studio sponsors. With my reach, they'll notice, do I request a release now or post and let them decide? What's your YouTube channel? Oh, Suburb Thespian. That's what you said? Let me see. What's your YouTube channel? So you're signed to an agency that's making you do a certain type of news or a certain type of content? If you want to bank on yourself, you can ask for a release now. If you want to bank on yourself. C says, please do an update on the young man who cut his hair because of your advice. All right, I got to find him. Don't forget birthright citizenship. Oh, that goes without saying. We should do away with birthright citizenship. Jack Morgan, RLP, It's his channel. All right, let me check that out. Jack Morgan, RLP. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is Jack Morgan the person that said it? That ain't somebody. That ain't the person that said it. Oh, Naka, what are you talking about? Oh, you talking about dropping a video about being broke? Yeah, I'll watch Jack Morgan. I've seen a couple of his videos. I think that he did a video where he was talking about he had got demonetized by mistake by switching his account on YouTube on AdSense or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Jack Morgan does interesting content, so. I like Jack Morgan stuff. Anyways, let's move on. So I want to get over to this MTA in San Francisco and this driver that fell asleep. I know it's been all over the news and it's been popping off a lot. So I want to kind of get into that. Shout out to Jack Morgan. I like Jack Morgan. Yeah, Jack got to get out of that depression, bro. You got to wing it, bro.
That's what apparently happened on a Muni train in San Francisco. Video obtained by Cron 4. It shows the driver of a light rail train falling asleep and speeding right on through a train stop next to DuBose Park.
Yeah, wild video. Cron 4's Rob Nesbitt showed it to people at a park today, Muni riders, and he joins us with what they had to say. Rob, what's the word?
Well, hold on. Before we get into this, let me see if I can find something. Hold on, I gotta find it was another video that actually showed it better. I ain't gonna worry about it right now.
Falling asleep as the train picks up speed, tossing panicked passengers all around. Chief Correspondent Jonathan Hunt is in Los Angeles with more on that for us. Hey, Jonathan.
Hey, Sandra, not the kind of early morning commute anyone wants, and it could have been so much worse. It was in the middle of the rush hour, just after 8:30 in the morning, and the San Francisco light rail train was packed when passengers suddenly got thrown around as the train jolted on a curve, exiting a tunnel and traveling at around 50 miles per hour. The driver was apparently asleep at the wheel, jerked awake and began applying the emergency brake, then blamed the braking system while trying to calm passengers.
I'm sorry. Relax. We didn't crash. Relax. It wouldn't stop. Relax. We're okay.
But a San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency investigation concluded, quote, a full inspection of the train's braking system confirmed that it performed as designed. Additional inspections of the trackway and related infrastructure found no mechanical or systems issues. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt in the incident. The SFMTA also says it is reinforcing training.
That car right there, that car got off the tracks just in time before the train smashed into it. And that train could have went off the tracks.
On the importance of watching for fatigue and reporting it. Not surprisingly, the train operator has been put on what officials call non-driving status.
What the fuck does that mean, non-driving status?
Grand Vicky, everyone I spoke with today was surprised that no one was seriously hurt during the incident caught on camera. The video shows riders on the Muni falling to the ground and the driver being shaken awake, driving at a speed of 50 miles per hour.
Some of y'all are saying that they fired her. I don't know about that. I don't think that y'all really understand how powerful these unions are. I don't think that y'all understand how powerful these unions are. Bruh, she's not fired. She's on non-driving status. They may have moved her job. They may have put her on cleanup duty. They may have put her in training services. They may have wrote her up. But that does not mean that you are fired. That could mean that you just on probation, or they'll put you on a PIP or something like that. But bro, I don't think y'all understand. Man, listen, bro, I worked in a steel mill. You know how hard it was to get fired in the steel mill? You know how hard it is to get fired from some of these city jobs, train operators, bus operators. I worked at the pickling lines and all of that stuff. Y'all don't really know. Yeah, of course they drug tested her. That's the first thing that you do when you get into a situation. When you mess something up or whatever, the first thing that they do is they send you to the clinic to go and drug test you. And if you clean, then you really ain't going to get fired, and they just going to discipline you or whatever. Here's the other part. All of those passengers are shaking around and all of this stuff. They scared. They feel like they're about to die. They got thrown over, all of that stuff. I wonder how many lawsuits San Francisco and the MTA is going to get from this. This is why I said, first of all, that women should not be doing certain jobs that men are doing, first of all. And then secondly, I don't believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion. If you look at some of the other videos, because I looked at some of the other videos and I researched it. If you look at some of the other videos, she was falling asleep. She was doing like this. She was falling asleep, laying on the operating board. She looked like how I was looking on these last few nights when I was live streaming too late into the night, but I knew I had to catch the flight the next day. Except I'm in the comfort of my home on a live stream, and she's over there getting flung around and putting people's safety in danger. You don't need no additional training for that. You just shouldn't be there on the job if you can't stay awake. When we was working in a plant, bro, you either had to get some sleep, and I seen some people do some stuff in the plant. I seen people, the steel would get away from them. The crane operator made a mistake and he went too far and he crashed the whole thing. Man, we had some real life incidents that was happening in the steel mill, all because of negligence. This is another reason why they trying to bring physical AI into the facilities so that they don't have to worry about this nonsense. They gonna replace y'all jobs because y'all out here putting people's lives at risk. I'm telling you the truth. They don't want the liability that comes along with it. They don't want the lawsuits. They don't want the union fighting. They don't feel like dealing with your problems and your issues. You went out to party last night, so now you sleeping on the job. They don't want the foolishness. They don't want to deal with it.
In the video from September 24th, you see the driver of a Muni train with their eyes closed and head down at 8:37 a.m., appearing to fall asleep behind the wheel. SFMTA says the train was exiting the Sunset Tunnel near Dubose Park when unexpected jolting shakes the driver awake, and the train speeds through its planned stop at Dubose Ave and Noe Street. Rashad Ali watched the video at the Muni stop, surrounded by pedestrians, cyclists, and dogs.
Scary for everyone involved. I feel like the cars here, the people standing on the side, the people inside, the driver themselves. Actually, like when she woke up and realized what was going on, I'm pretty sure that was pretty scary too.
I'm sorry. Relax.
The driver apologizes to the riders, many of whom could be seen falling to the ground, while the train narrowly misses an oncoming car that has to swerve out of the way. Greg Mundia watched the video of the driver, telling riders to relax.
We didn't crash. Relax.
Kind of free.
All of these people is too nice. I'm surprised. They must not have had a whole bunch of black women on that train, because I know our black women, they different. Big, who you talking to? Who you telling to relax? Get your up there and get this train on the tracks. The train could have completely derailed. The train, somebody, the engineers, the safety people, all of those people, they did that. They did a hell of a job. They did a hell of a job on that train. That mug could have derailed. It could have went left. It could have been a bad situation all across the board. The train whoever, designers, the safety inspectors, all of the people that put the safeguards in place, the people that ensured that the train is designed a way to stop the emergency stop, they all did their job. And there was one woman that came to work and didn't do what she was supposed to do. They had to do all of this to make sure that the passengers on the train is safe, that the people in the neighborhood, the train could have derailed and ran into a bunch of houses that was sitting there. That amount of weight going that fast, coming out of a tunnel, and then you got people waiting at the stop that it flies by, and then it's in front of a house, all of these houses in a regular neighborhood. That could have been one of the biggest disasters this year. It could have been one of the biggest disasters before the end of 2025. Why? Because of human control. Because a woman is sitting there on a train, falling asleep, doing more than 50 miles an hour on a literally on speed. I don't know if y'all ever seen that old movie called Speed with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. Crazy. And she probably still got her job too. She probably still got her job. All day long. Not as a train operator, but I'm guaranteeing you that she probably still has her job. Because I've seen people like this have a job working for the city, for the Pelham 123. Absolutely. Pelham 123. Oh man, crazy, bro. Absolutely crazy. You know what I was saying? The new modern trains that they designed.
Yeah, like I drive on this all the time. I take the bus as well a lot, and I don't know, falling asleep at work and possibly hitting a car is kind of scary.
Paramedics responded to the scene, and an SFMTA investigation confirmed error as a result of operator fatigue. The driver has been placed on non-driving status, according to the agency, that has had to reinforce training on the importance of watching for signs of fatigue and reporting it.
Some butterfly eyelashes on. You can see that shit on the black and white cameras.
That has had to reinforce training on the importance.
Got her eyelashes done. See them eyelashes? Got them lashes done though.
Of watching for signs of fatigue and reporting it.
Hopefully they're getting the amount of time off they need and resting and being able to not fall asleep when they're at work.
SFMTA Director of Transportation, Julie Kirschbaum, issued a statement Monday in response to the newly surfaced video saying, quote, "We know this was a frightening experience for our riders, and we take that very seriously. Safety is always our top priority. We are committed to accountability in response to this specific, unacceptable incident, and we are taking all necessary steps to keep Muni safe and reliable for all riders and the public."
I have Blue Cruise, and so Blue Cruise is on the most recent Lincoln Navigator. So everybody know I went because I vlogged about it, and I went and bought the new Navigator. And so the Escalades and the Navigators and the Teslas and most new cars, I know the Mercedes got it on the S classes, but the Blue Cruise has been the Tesla, right? Because Tesla, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. A lot of people like to hate on Elon Musk. That nigga, he's a genius. Because when I got my Cybertruck and I got full self-driving on the Cybertruck, it literally, you put in a destination and it could drive you to the destination with no assistance whatsoever. I'm talking about go and parking, pulling in and out, changing lanes, making turns. It literally drives itself from destination to destination. Now, the Blue Cruise is Ford/Lincoln's solution to basically the car being able to drive itself. And so usually when I'm coming from the suburbs, I'll take 75, and I know I got a little bit of a drive, so I'll throw it in 75, and then it'll just, it'll go in a blue cruise. So blue cruise, it keeps a certain distance. It'll change lanes on its own. It'll basically drive itself all the way down, but then you got to take control once you get off the ramps and stuff like that. And it's dope. It's incredible. But one of the technologies that it has, both the Tesla and, Ford, I haven't driven the Escalade, so I don't know anything about that. But one of the technologies that it has is it monitors your eyes. So it knows if you're going to sleep, and you can see the sensors and the cameras and stuff like that, right? Blue Cruise, Cruise. Come on, y'all. Cruise. Like cruising down the street in my 6'4". Not cruise like this is my work crew. Crew is CREW. I know we room 9 and shit like that in here. Crew is CREW. Chew is CHEW. Cruise, like I'm cruising down the street, is CRUISE. Okay? All right. When you're using Blue's Clues. But when you're driving down the street, it has these sensors that monitors your eyes. So you still have to be aware of what's on the road. You got to be paying attention to what's going on around you. Sometimes I'll get on my phone or whatever, and I'll be looking for videos while the car is driving, and it'll be like, it'll start giving you an alert like, hey, pay attention to the road. Pay attention to the road, or whatever, so on and so forth. So I think that our trains and subways and stuff like that, the newer ones that get designed, it has to have that level of technology in it. Gotta have that level of technology in it. Has to be where it monitors your eyes, it monitors your sleep habits, all of that stuff. Monitors your eyes. Black Beauty, the seat was like, it'll start vibrating and shaking and everything like that. It has all of that technology in it. So no more DEI for hiring, no more butterfly eyelashes. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. It says, how do you trust that? I trust it more than I trust you. Most of the time, the problems that we have in society is because of human error. It's not because of the car. It ain't because of the machines. It didn't malfunction. 99.9% of the time, the thing that goes wrong, the reason why I'm really situationally aware and I'm paying attention even when I got it on is because of other drivers, not because of the technology. That's why you have a much greater chance of getting in an accident. It's not because of, when I'm driving, I'm confident in myself. I'm paying attention to stuff that's going on around me. I'm paying attention to stuff that's going on around me. When it's switching lanes, I'm still looking because it's the other people that's switching lanes without a blinker and jumping over and stuff like that. The problem isn't the technology. The problem is people. That's why I stopped taking freeways on my motorcycle, because of the people. Random question, is AI machine learning a waste of time for stay-at-home moms? Do you plan on staying at home, or do you plan on getting into the workforce? It sounds like it's for a demanding job. I don't know how I would balance the two. What is your long-term goal? Like how small are your kids? If you ever plan on going into the workforce, then that's one thing. If you plan on being a stay-at-home mom for the next 10 to 15 years, then that's an entirely different conversation. So it depends on what your lifestyle is going to be and what you plan on. Cam and Mace were talking about dudes sharing industry bust downs and how they don't understand it. Might be a good room 9 conversation. I've seen that. But we say that all the time. Me and Simi say that all the time. I'm going to add that. All the same girls. I think that is a good conversation. Thank you, Wesley Turner. I'll add it tonight. Silverback, is that Silver Black 31? Y'all got to start putting some vowels in y'all names, man. Non-driving status means they took her out of service to make sure she takes a sleep apnea test. She wasn't going to be fired unless she derailed the train. That's crazy. Marriage, Politics, and Sports podcast says, I'm gonna tell y'all my thoughts in a minute. That car driver was double blessed. It could have been in a Kobe Ashi Maru situation where swerving would have been a pick your poison situation. Marriage, Politics, and Sports podcast. Let me say this, y'all. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of some insight. Don't put what you do at the end of whatever it is that your name is. So you don't have to say podcast because you don't want to be limited to just being a podcast. You might want to be a show, right? When I got into the game, and I've always thought about this my entire life because all of us wanted to be rappers and stuff when we was younger. When I got into the game, I always was wondering, how when you become a rapper, when you're growing up and stuff like that, how you always try to figure out what your rap name is. I probably went through maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 different names. Probably 5 or 6 different names when I was younger, when I was growing up. And so all of us had different names, rap names, all of that type of stuff, right? And then I started looking at a lot of people, right? And this is the honest to God when I was coming up. I would be looking, and for some reason, my mind worked like this even when I was younger, even when I, got into content creation. And I would look and I would say, some of these people gonna be stuck. Like I remember Lil Zane and Lil Bow Wow and all of these Lils, or I would look at people like Chinks Drugs, right? Chinks Drugs was a part of French Montana's crew, the Coke Boys. A lot of people don't know nothing about that. That's the mixtape days, back before French Montana married this Dubai princess and stuff like that. And I'm just bringing up different examples of different people, right? And then I seen that later on they tried to rebrand it to just Chinks or Bow Wow, or they went from Young Jeezy to Jeezy and stuff like that, right? And I always would look at rappers and I would say, the smartest ones has a name. The smartest ones have a name that they can use as their name and that they don't have to change it when they get older because they only going based off of where they at the time, and they're not going based off of where they're going in the future, right? And so I always looked at names like Jay-Z or Nas, right? Nasir Jones, Nas, and I would say, that's so smart. That's so smart for them to just say that name, right? And then I seen that Jay-Z had started to switch from Jay-Z to Sean Carter because he was becoming more of a businessman and all of that stuff. And so when I always thought about names and naming conventions, I would build sites, and I'm not going to tell y'all some of the names of the sites that we built because we made a whole lot of money from them and stuff like that back in the day. But it would just be whatever the name of the site is. It wouldn't be such and such music site, such and such this site, such and such that site. And even when I got into the game as a content creator, you are stuck between a two worlds, right? And so I had a choice of whether or not I wanted to use an alias, like a name, like whatever, you see them all the time, or if I wanted to use my real name. And what I realized as a content creator and as a podcaster, I wanted to use my real name because that is the thing that is going to stand the test of time over a period of time, right? If I have some kind of alias, it's almost like you're a rapper or something like that, or, you a fluke or you a gimmick. But if you use your real name, you are a person of status. And I'm not saying that y'all have to use your real name because, I have themes or names for other shows. The Millionaire Morning Show, Room 9, it was After Hours, all of that stuff. But if you notice, I don't put a label on it because I don't limit the reach and I don't limit what it could become in the future. So I didn't put After Hours, the podcast. I didn't put Room 9, the show. I didn't put Millionaire Morning Show on YouTube. I just said, this is the Millionaire Morning Show. This is Room 9, because it could be branded and used anywhere. It could be branded and used as audio. It could be branded and used on YouTube. You can take it and you can put it on a major platform and license out the content. And so I'm giving y'all a lot of insight right now that I shouldn't be giving y'all. And these are conversations that I have inside of the Patreon, or I have on a Discord. But what I'm telling you is that you want to brand yourself for what you can become later on in the future. You don't want to limit yourself by saying, I'm this type of show, or I'm on this type of thing. You want to brand yourself for how you can possibly, if you ever blow up or you ever do really well, how you can take your platform and go to the next level on any other platform. Your name is supposed to be recognized outside of whatever platform that you're on. So when people see me in the streets, right, my goal was to always be the thing that people associated with a platform. Anton Daniels is over there on the Lapeef Network. This was back in the day. Anton Daniels is over there on After Hours. It's over. Oh, did you see Anton Daniels? And so I would use my whole name because I am the brand. I was valuing myself. That's how I started to look at comedians. The best ones wasn't Zeus the big guy, right? It was Patrice O'Neal, Steve Harvey, Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Kevin Hart. You see what I'm saying? The ones that got the most money, the ones that were able to market themselves with the best, was the Steve Harvey Show. He was able to take his name and attach it to anything and anybody in any brand. And so no matter where he went, that show promoted him. You get it now? And so I was always thinking outside of whatever respective platform that I'm on. How can I continue to market myself to make myself more available and easily recognizable to the majority of the audience? A lot of times we limit ourselves. I was telling somebody, because I was in negotiation, I'm kind of still talking about it. I was in negotiation of buying a platform that was a local show, and they only covered local sports, right? And I would say, why are you guys limiting yourself and limiting your reach? Because what if you want to expand a platform beyond the people that's only in Michigan or the people that's only in Detroit? Why are you limiting yourself? Why don't you go further out and you give yourself a name that addresses that you talk about sports, even if it's just local, because you want to be able to at some point expand a platform to be able to compete with a bigger audience? Or are you just trying to stay local for the rest of your life? And The Rock, right? You notice how The Rock is Dwayne Johnson. Now, people may know him on WWE as The Rock, but he quickly made sure that he rebranded himself so that you notice him as Dwayne Johnson, because he made way more money in movies than he made, because Hulk Hogan never could go outside of being a wrestler. You see what I'm saying? He could never go outside of being a wrestler because he's always going to be known as Hulk Hogan. That's it. And so what I'm telling you is that you have to look at your shows, your brands, whatever you do. And I shouldn't even be. See, this is why. See, they want me to just talk about the economy and stuff. No, I'm gonna give you some real life game. I'm going to give you some real life game. Derailment on the Millionaire Morning Show is not just derailment when we talk and jump. It's also derailing you into a bag. The Fresh Prince turned into Will Smith. Why do you think he didn't just say he's the Fresh Prince? No. Will Smith is starring on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Will Smith is starring on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. This is Independence Day with Will Smith. Independence Day did more for Will Smith than anything he ever did in his rap career. Independence Day is the movie that really put him on an international level. 7 Degrees of Separation, he had all of that type of stuff or whatever. But Independence Day, That's what put them on. That's what really, really put them on. So you have to brand yourself in your show, in your individual life, as something that's marketable to the most amount of people. You don't want to limit yourself by saying, I'm this podcast. It's an art to being a content creator. It's an art to being a marketable star. It is an art form to being Kendrick Lamar. Correct. Now, of course, there are going to be some situations where it's people that's just so talented or they so great at what they do that they're going to break out of that, right? They're going to be way bigger than anything that a name can tell them. But for the rest of us, and for people that are still stars, for the rest of us, we have to think long term of what we want to be marketed as, and if that is going to resonate on more than just your social media platform. Okay? This is real life game, real life applicable game. You don't want people trying to differentiate or determine, hey man, ain't you that guy? What are you on YouTube? I'm a Big Dick Willie on YouTube, but you can just call me John Smith. You could just call me John Smith. Like, nah, you want to be something that resonate with people. You know what I'm saying? You want to be something that is marketable, memorable, and doesn't limit you and your reach on what you want to do, because you might want to grow into being something more than just I'm the podcast on this platform. You know what I'm saying? Just a little game for you. Just a little game for you. That's how I see things. That's how I look at it. Just my daily high AD. What up, yo? What up, it's Eric. I appreciate you. Bridget. Shit. Bridget, you're not gonna keep on holding me down. Hey, they say that the ladies be mad at Anton. I don't agree. I think that the ladies love AD. The ladies love AD. Look at what Bridget is doing. TGIF and blessings to you all. Keep on doing what you're doing. AD and the team. Have a great weekend. All in the chat. I love you. I appreciate you, Bridget D. Thank you, Bridget D. Thank you for holding me down. You don't have to do this, but you saw fit to bless me and bless the platform. And I'm never going to take it for granted. I'm always going to say I appreciate you. And this is why I give my all to you guys. This is why I give my all to the Bag Chasers and the Patreon. This is why I give my all to the people that's on these platforms that tune in every day. If it was just 30 people watching, I would give you everything, because you guys are such a blessing, and hopefully I'm getting a blessing in return. Thank you, Bridget. I appreciate you. Thank you, love. Damian Brown says, Anton, review the Andrew Wilson versus CGA debate on is marriage is worth it, please. I don't want to. Honestly, I genuinely don't want to. For me, that's such low-hanging fruit. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I heard about it, and shout out to them. Shout out to Andrew Wilson. Shout out to CGA. I don't really care. I don't even want to watch it. I genuinely don't. It's such low-hanging fruit for me. I almost believe I could just pick that apart without even thinking twice. Honestly, I don't care about debates no more. If it was a debate, I just don't care. I genuinely don't care. I don't care. It's such low-hanging fruit. It's such low-hanging fruit, bro. So I'm going to leave that to everybody else. I'm not going to jump into that. I don't waste my time with stuff that's not relevant to what I'm trying to do. I've done that type of content over and over again. If we're not in a group setting, really deep diving into some stuff on Room 9, I don't even care. I genuinely don't give a fuck. it just doesn't, it's not interesting to me anymore. It's not in the lane that I'm going down. It's super low hanging fruit. Super low hanging fruit. Is that crazy? Is that crazy? You know my stance, right, Tabby? Right. So what is there for me to make? What is there for me to say? I think it's low hanging fruit for me personally. Now, if you're trying to get in the game or you're trying to make a name for yourself and stuff like that, then okay, you want to know what my take is? I don't even have to watch it. I'll tell you what my take is. Is marriage worth it? Yes, depending on your circumstances. Yes, depending on your religious beliefs. And yes, depending on what you're trying to build and if you're trying to be successful. I can guarantee you this. Without even watching it, I can guarantee you this. That neither one, regardless of what their position is, ever had a conversation on how to leverage it when it comes to a business perspective. Both of them probably argued and got personal. Both of them probably, and see, when I was debating with Yada, I never got personal, ever. I kept it strictly on the debate. Both of them probably argued when it came to religious beliefs. They probably cited the Bible. I'm sure that CGA probably says something about Sky Daddy because that's what he says. Please leave Sky Daddy out of it. Probably had a conversation about, family court law and the United States of America and how it's not worth it for men because he can take everything. And then the other one took the other position and said, religious beliefs and, but in the Middle East or the way that American laws are, but women are this and women are that or whatever. And women can take everything and feminism, A, B, and C, and D, right? None of them had any conversation, I'm assuming. And this is the honest to God truth. I never even watched it. None of them had any conversation about the impact financially, mentally, emotionally when it comes to raising kids. Of course, we had the single mother debate. She can take everything if she wants to, whenever she gets ready to. And family court laws favor the woman. Red pill, men are suffering as a result of it. Men are revolting. Men aren't scared of marriage. They're scared of divorce. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All right. I'm pretty much telling you what probably said. So my take on it is everything is situational and it depends on your circumstance. If you want to raise children and you want them to have the best opportunity possible, then you have to vet effectively, make sure that you get a prenuptial agreement, protect yourself. If you are a younger couple, then marriage is going to benefit you if you're building from nothing. If you are an older couple and you don't have children, then that's circumstantial and it could be just something religious or it may align with your beliefs. If you are a middle-aged person and you're getting into marriage, then you probably want to have a prenuptial agreement, but you still have to take into consideration of whether or not you're having kids. If you are a super high-value man, you have a much greater chance of going higher in corporate America in your business life if you have somebody that is aligned with your goals that can also speak to some of the things that you're doing. If you need a helpmeet, you also need to put a woman in a position to where she can take care of the kids without having to go to work every single day. And that is a greater, much greater opportunity for you to have a successful marriage. And you need to teach her how to fish for herself and you need to give her purpose. It's nuanced. It's nuanced. There is no one size fits all solution to what marriage is supposed to represent. It depends on your individual situation. And I'm not even on either team. I'm on a team of successful, happy, healthy households and gender roles. You understand? I am the type of person that will probably always be married. Women add a significant amount of value into my life, but it's because I am a certain type of guy. I am not like every other. No guy is a monolith and every guy is different. I'm a certain type of guy that is able to truly get the most out of and add value into a woman that is in my life. So for me, it is a great thing and it is additional structure that adds value into my life. And I value the women that are in my life and I treat them and take care of them accordingly, which in return, they add value into my life. But I look at everything from a business perspective. And so I'm able to apply that into anything that I got going on. I don't just look at, I don't need you to do the same thing that a traditional wife would do. I don't need you to cook clean. I don't need you to do any of that type of stuff. The requirements, which would then put a greater onus on the type of woman that I needed to be in my life, because I don't need a regular chick. I need a chick that is irregular in her level of thinking so that she can then elevate and grow with me into the spaces that I need to be in, because I don't need the same thing that a regular person do. I already got a kid. I'm not looking to have another kid. I don't need that type of nurturing. I need a different type of nurturing. I don't tell guys that they should or shouldn't get married. I look at your individual situation and I make an assessment based off of that. Now, at the same time, you need to have big discipline, right? You're going to have nuance. It's a bunch of other stuff that can go into it. Don't lead with your money, but it doesn't mean that the person is not supposed to be taken care of. You need to be equally yoked. The person that you then get into a relationship with should not be a person that you date off the internet, or you just met off a Bumble, or you got them off a Hinge, or, it should be a person that you were able to observe for an extended period of time, and y'all were just mutual acquaintances or friends, and you are able to see who they are and how they operate regardless of the circumstances that they're in. You need to see how they operate under duress, whether or not they're going to be they're religious. You guys need to have the same faith, the same principles, the same mindset. You don't have to be the same person or have the same interests, but you have to have the same principles, right? It has to match your lifestyle. You both should have something to lose. That way you come into it with the right intentions. It's so much nuance to it. But it's difficult for me to listen to people debating because I know what they're always already going to say, because you hear it so much. And again, shout out to them. I think that they are both incredible content creators and that they're awesome. But for me personally, I think it would be low-hanging fruit. And I don't know if that is for me to react to. Marriage can be a beautiful thing, and it could be one of the worst things that ever happened to you. It just depends on the nuance. So that's what I think about that. Look at me getting caught up on super chats. Marriage, Politics, and Sports says, thanks, AD R-Pain. I know who you are. I just added podcast. No need to guess what I'm going to do next. By the way, we had a combo on your show about a year. I know who you are, R-Pain. What up, R-Pain? Many plays PCs. Heard you, big dog. I'll drop the PC. Noble Xavier says, do you have an EIN for your, do I have an EIN for your personal name? And do you think the people you named do? An EIN, I have an EIN for, EIN is basically like a tax ID. So I have an EIN for the businesses that I need or that I have. All right. And a business may be my name. Courtney Egger show says, do I need to take out show on a Courtney Egger? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. You just got to, I don't think so. I think you'll be fine. You don't have to take out show. You still Courtney Egger. Should I make content? I don't know. All I've ever seen you do is type. I've never heard you speak. Best feeling of success is, does adding vlogs at the end of the channel name that's about a traveling content, cornering myself? Yep. Do you see me add vlogs at the end of my channel, even the channel that's Darth Anton? It's just Darth Anton. I don't add vlogs to it. I just vlog. What you think, that people are going to rock with it or not going to rock with it based off of me saying that it's a vlog? Reed says, so what should you do if you have multiple ideas? Be great at one and then let the one create all of the rest of them, like I did on the Anton Daniels channel. The Anton Daniels channel is the foundation of who I am on YouTube. Anton Daniels channel spawned After Hours. It spawned the Millionaire Morning Show. It spawned Room 9. It spawned Darth Anton. The Anton Daniels channel is the core, and then I have all of these other trees that's growing off of it. Freeze Long says, Anton, you stay dropping gems. I'm working on a project right now. My current hurdle is the naming. What if I dislike my real name because it sounds like a pastor's name? Well, Freeze Long ain't gonna get it. I don't know what your real name is. What's your real name? Courtney Smith says, I hope Gilbert Arenas is paying attention to this information. Shout out to Gilbert Arenas. Paul Rodriguez says, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Me University says, got 2 dishwashers. Got one is a chef and one is a maid. Got 1 chef, got 1 maid. He want me to finish rapping the rest of it. I'm not rapping the rest of it. But that's good. I was able to recognize that. Crimson says, facts. I concur. It must be beneficial for both. Facts. That's why I tell women all the time that you got to become the woman that you would want. That you become the woman that you would want to marry. That you would want the man to marry. He's not just gonna pick you just because you. He needs to pick you because you add value into his life. I'm not finishing it. Nope. Brian the filmmaker says my company name is Frameline Media, is having media at the end. Okay, listen, you can have a company that owns the show. My company owns my shows. My media company owns my shows, but my name is still my name. So I have a media company that owns the shows that I produce and the channels that I produce online. You get it now? So you don't have to create a YouTube channel called Frameline Media. You just are who you are, but then the company that governs everything is... I talk way better than I type. Shout out to y'all. All right, y'all. I want to go into Trump real quick. He gave a tour to Laura Ingram of the White House renovations. And so I want to get into that. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
All right, we made a lot of news with this interview, and once it wrapped, the president was gracious enough to give us an exclusive tour of the new White House renovations. Now, it was starting to get dark, it was late in the day, but we still got a good sense of how things will look, including the new ballroom. Now, warning, Democrat heads will explode in 3, 2, 1.
The new ballroom will go from here to there, and it'll seat a proper number of people, and the White House will finally have, after 150 years, the ballroom that they wanted. You know what? They've waited 150 years, and the public is paying for nothing. The public is paying for absolutely nothing. It's all being done by donors. All the way over there, it'll be beautiful. One of the most beautiful in the world. Come on.
That's the part that people are really mad at. They not mad that he's actually redoing the White House. Because I seen one liberal crash and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Who gave him authorization to be able to redo and build the whole ballroom at the White House? Most people that are complaining has never even been to Washington, D.C. They've never even been to the White House. They never even went up to the Treasury. They never even took a tour. A lot of times we just complain about stuff. The thing that they really mad at is that Trump is not paying for it with taxpayer dollars. They're mad that Trump is not paying for it with taxpayer dollars. Look, y'all need to be more concerned about whether or not Obama, who has cost overruns on that atrocity over in Chicago, is even going to finish his presidential library, because he's almost at over $1 billion and he's not even finished. We don't even know what the maintenance cost of that place is going to be. They still cracking on the concrete on the outside. Trump is building a new presidential ballroom that is adding value to the White House, in my opinion, because it looks much better than what was there. And he's not even doing it with taxpayer dollars. And that's one of the reasons that people are mad. That's one of the reasons why why he's mad, is because they pissed off that he's able to do stuff and make changes and make upgrades, and he's not even using taxpayer money.
Okay.
And it's crazy because we've never seen a president this visible before.
You know, a lot of people don't know that. They don't say that there's no cost.
Okay, wait to know.
That's some rumor. Weird.
That's unbelievable.
Now I'm going to show you. So this is the Presidential Walk of Fame.
Now, whose idea was this?
My idea. Everything's my idea.
Everything's your idea. Okay.
Yeah, sadly.
Who's that guy?
That's Barack Hussein Obama.
Okay.
This is Biden right here.
Wait a second. The
Worst
profile.
president.
The profile of Biden.
So
is
he's the worst president in the history of our country.
Dog, he got the auto pen for Biden, and then he got his own photo over Barack Obama. Oh my God. And he keeps saying Barack Hussein Obama. The only thing that he could do that's even more funny than that is if he was to call him Barry Santoro. Bro, Trump is hilarious, bro. And he is the king of trolling. This dude put an auto pen, a framed auto pen. Oh, you know what I just realized? Hold on, wait. You know what I just realized? I just realized that Trump used his mugshot. Bro, he used his mugshot as the picture. Oh, that is so good, bro. That is so good. This dude is hilarious, bro. He is hilarious. I'm so glad that he my president. I'm so glad that he my president. 100% glad that he's my president, bro. This dude used, so he's doing it in order of when they got elected. So it's Trump, Biden, Trump. They didn't even show Barack's picture. They didn't even show Barack. Shame on the cameraman for not meeting expectations. Cameraman need to be slapped. But he used his mugshot. That's Trump. That's the mugshot that Trump took when they was coming after him during Biden's administration. Oh, that's pretty crazy. This dude used the auto pen. That is hilarious, bro.
And Barack Hussein Obama's top 5, meaning bad.
Are you going to replace that with his actual photo?
No, I don't think so. Look at the faces on these people. Those are serious faces, right?
Oh, that's for sure.
Every one of them's a tough cookie.
Do you think these will stay up after you've left office?
Well, I think they should. On the bottom here, this hasn't been put yet. They're being made. We have a plaque that goes about that describes in a couple of hundred words. Mm-hmm. Important, right?
Yep. Very important.
And they're beautiful, beautiful bronze plaques. Goes up under each picture describing. Look at the scene over here, fellas. Look, how beautiful is that? Come on over here, take a look.
This is the new Rose Garden. But
and now you can have news. That's the same stone as the White House. So now you can have news conferences. You can, nobody could stand in the mud.
Where did you get the stone?
Different places.
Different places?
Yeah.
Why was
but I'll show you something. This is the equivalent of what I do with the ballroom. I built many ballrooms and many buildings, and that's my greatest strength. Actually, might as well do this.
One thing that I'm going to make sure that I always do, that I love about Trump, is that I'm never going to wait for somebody to give me my credit. I'm going to go ahead and help you to understand what makes me awesome. Trump said, listen, I've been doing this for a long time. I built many ballrooms and many buildings, many buildings. Nobody can do it like me. Oh, this dude he don't wait for nobody to give him credit. He said, listen, I'm the man. I did this. Look how awesome I am.
So this room was in terrible shape. This was done by Jackie Kennedy. Jackie Kennedy Onassis, then Jackie Kennedy, I hope. And she took this area, it's called the Palm Court. And here we had one by one little tiles that were all broken, cheap, out of a box. The walls weren't good. We took it, I restored it. I put in new chandeliers. They had lanterns that were terrible.
I remember this room.
Yeah, it was a nothing room.
Yeah.
It was an embarrassment.
There was a seat, a bench right underneath there. Yeah.
Yeah, that did look trash. Hold on.
Nothing room. It was an embarrassment.
There was a seat.
Yeah, that did look trash. I ain't even gonna cap. That whack ass rug.
A bench right underneath there. Yeah.
To come to the Oval Office, you had to go through this room. It was an embarrassment, okay? And I took it down and rebuilt it. Same as she had it, but at a much higher level. And take a look at the floor. Take a look at the marble. So this is called.
It is really pretty.
Statuary marble. But look at the book ending. Look at the book match. Look how it matches.
That's tough to do.
No, it's very tough. You don't get it. If it's an eighth of an inch off, it's no good.
Is that brass? The brass?
That's a brass, 2 brass strips. But even if you look at the air conditioner vent, it's book matched.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Who can do that? I can do that because I know that, it's even available that you can do that. Very few people can do it. So you take a vent that's supposed to be a piece of aluminum or steel. And the marble man said, I said, do you think you could book match your event? He said, yeah, look at the other one over there. Book match. But look at the quality of that job.
Where do you think you developed the attention to architectural detail? Like, at what age did you start realizing that's what you could do?
Yeah, I was involved with my father in building and all this stuff. And my father was a builder. So as a little boy, I'd be sitting there playing with blocks, I guess. And my father would be on the phone, and I'd be listening.
Yeah, I agree. Laura Ingram needs to get in. I hate to say this. Laura Ingram need to get a new cameraman because they slow. I don't know if they've ever understood what B-roll is, that you actually show the thing that he's pointing to, that you need to be pointing to Obama's photo so we can see it. Shit.
I guess. And, you listen, I had a father who was very good at building. He was very good at building things, and so am I. I build better than anybody else. Nobody can build like me.
But was his?
You can ask Steve Whitcoff, who is the best builder, he will tell you.
Did your dad have the same attention to the specific details that you did?
Well, he built low, moderate income houses.
So it was a different type of
So he didn't
build.
have to do a floor like this. He'd do a floor out of tile, linoleum at the time they used to call it. And it would be a different kind of a thing. But he had a tremendous attention to quality. In other words, if it's going to be even, a regular floor, it would be exactly even, exactly straight. It would fit perfectly. But when you look at that job. Nobody's ever seen it.
Do any of your kids have that same delicate attention to detail that you have? Because that's kind of, you can't really teach that.
I think they do. I think Eric is very good. Don, in a very different way, is good. Ivanka is, Tiffany's very smart. She was a great student, always a great student. They're all great students. Actually, they were all great students. And I think Barron's going to be tremendous at that. Yeah, he's very meticulous.
Is he here?
He is. He's here. He's right upstairs. Want to see him?
Studying, yeah. I'd love to see him.
He's doing a good job. He's tall.
A lot of people
He's
think.
a tall one.
A lot of people think he could be the next Trump president.
I don't know. I think.
Or a lot of people are wondering which child would be the best.
In a certain way, they all could. Take a look at this, fellas. You want to see detail. So, like this sign. Most people would just do a sign they painted on the wall. So that's 1/2 inch thick bronze, carved by a very talented person. And it's brass. It's pure brass. It's 1/2 inch thick brass. And you can't just do that. That's, you look at that, that's quality, right? And then we start with George Washington and we go down to Trump. Pretty cool, right?
Where are your speakers? Because I heard this.
All here.
They're in the bushes?
They're all here.
When did you decide you were a frustrated DJ? How long ago was that?
I don't do that much, but I think having good sound is important because we do now news conferences on this space. you know, as you know, you were probably a victim to it. You'd stand in the grass, your high heels would be ruined. The women are, you know, walking out without. So I had to make it a hard surface. So I made it the same color as the White House itself, which worked out great. We just moved the tables. This over here was actually taken out of the East Wing.
Oh, is that right?
This was done by this was carved.
Oh, yeah, that was Borgham.
By the carver who did Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, beautiful.
And this was taken from the East Wing. We took all the good stuff.
Okay, I've been to the White House. I don't.
That's pretty interesting. Shout out to Trump, man. I think, again, in my opinion, greatest president of all time. Certainly the greatest president of our lifetime at the very minimum. That was pretty funny. The fact that he made Biden's picture an auto pen. Oh, I heard that Biden was out here flying on American Airlines commercial and eating ice cream. Did y'all see that? Let me see something. They just trying to keep him comfortable. I can't find it. Oh, well. Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy times that we live in. How many stories did we do? I gave y'all the game on, well, showed this one. Gave y'all the game on your name. Talked about marriage and relationships. Talked about the lady, the MTA driver. Also showed you the lady that got sued. Yeah, that should be sufficient. That should be sufficient for today until we get back into the studio on Monday. Till we get back to the studio on Monday. It is 8:37 p.m. here. 8:37 p.m. Switch this back around. So I'm operating on a different time. 8:37 p.m. You said rest up, bro. I'm rested. I slept for 8 hours last night. I got me a cool 8 last night. So it's 8:38 p.m. here. And it's 2:38 back in the East Coast. So I got stuff to do. I got a movie to go watch. I got the streets to go hit. I got work to do. I got after hours to plan. I got a lot to get into. Ugh. Lots and lots and lots to get into. All right, let me read some of these super chats. I'm in the future. Yeah, I had the live stream while I was here. Brian the filmmaker says my company name is Frameline Media. Oh yeah, I read that. To address the other guy's inquiry, you can only create one EIN as an individual sole proprietorship, and that's it. It's used for all other sole proprietorships, but for entities like ELCs, you can have infinite ones. That's true. Shout out to my CPAs in the chat. Eric says, but they're not mad at Obama for building that ugly tower. Chase Barnes says, happy Friday, ADM peeps. Trump's never miss an opportunity to diss Biden. And Vid earlier was nuts. Keep trucking, big fella. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, Jay. All right, y'all. We got after hours tonight. It's going to be fun. And we're going to get back to 3-hour shows when I get back to Detroit. Do I have global entry? Yes, I got global entry. I got all of that stuff. I got global entry. I got TSA pre-check. I got clear plus pre-check. I got, what is the name of this? It's called, it's something else. It's green. I don't know. I got a bunch of stuff. I got everything that you can possibly get. When I was going through Detroit to go through TSA and everything, it took me 7 minutes to from valet, going in through valet to, no. It took me 10 minutes because it took me a few minutes to check my luggage. It took me 10 minutes to walk in, check my luggage. I was vlogging the whole time. I don't know if I'm going to release that vlog though. 10 minutes to walk in, check my luggage, go through TSA. and be on my way to my gate. That's how long it took me. All right. Let me see something. Fuck is contact tracing? I don't know what that is. Anyways, I'm going to see y'all tonight. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.